type in the truth about them taking everything from us and just stealing our futures as usual. You know, I posted as the header. I said that saying that the government is taking everything. They're stealing all of our money. They're just corrupt. They're giving all the money to everybody. It's like, and they stopped it. Stream was hijacked immediately. Couldn't go to do anything at the time. It just shut down everything, blanked the screen. So yeah, it was hijacked just a minute ago by probably by entities inside the inside the machine. Guaranteed somebody was in the back door. They jumped in and shut down the stream. I had some really good um, a good header, a good information, a good tags, and it would have been a good stream. But then you guys would have learned too much about these sons of bitches we call representatives that take our money from the Federal Reserve, pass the bills, passed out their buddies with no returns coming back to the American people, only saying that we get benefits because of our rare earth mineral prices go down or commodities go down or whatever goes down. But the realization is they're just taking everything, giving it to their friends, and their friends make billions of dollars, and then we get nothing in return for the money Biden put away into the rest of the world, gave away to shell companies everywhere, NGOs. Same with Obama, same with Trump in the first Trump, same with all the Bushes. They all did the same thing over and over again. They just continually gave out our money. There was no returns. They've been throwing mass amounts of money across the planet for no reason. Afghanistan was a good drain. Iraq was a good drain. The war in Syria was a good one for Obama. The overthrow of Assad, the butchering of the Syrian people, why Americans clap like a bunch of sills, a bunch of idiots out there watching, Syrian soldiers being beheaded. Good to see you there, Karen. Quick show over 12 hours last night. 12 hours and 15 minutes. Very long night. Yeah, I'm up and moving again. Gonna go back and do it all over again. But we've come across some. I came across some pretty interesting things with AI last night. Some really interesting things. Good to see you again, brother. Back. How's it going over there in the European continent? Huh? I'm feeling a little bit better. Feeling a little bit better. Well, Northern Europe, but I guess you'd call it Northern Europe. Anyway, Norseman area. Just call it that for you. Hopefully, you're not off doing your thing like you normally go do. So, I talked to Grok last night about the U.S. aid and the money that goes out, not just AID, it's other monies that they've been putting out. The war, like Biden, what Biden did, it's insane. Yeah, the Netherlands still suck. Yeah, could be. I'm not sure where that actually falls into the actual area. If you'd say like Northern Europe, like you're saying Northwestern Europe. I just know I'm in the Western United States. That's where I am, the Rocky Mountains. Um, I talked to Grok about that last night about how much money's been going out, and how the shell game they've been playing for the past 50, 60, 70 years with, these corporations they call American. They go out there. Congress passed the money, Senate, House, all those jackasses. All it is money laundering. America claps like a bunch of idiots that they're sending money overseas for their companies to go in and make money, like rebuild Ukraine, to funnel weapons. It's all money appropriated out of our asses, given to their corporations where we get nothing back. And then they say, well, we're going to make a rebuilding thing. Zelensky's going to give us some money now that Biden didn't want nothing back. He just threw absolute untold amount of trillions and billions of dollars into Ukraine. The numbers are way beyond the scale what they admit. And then that money goes directly into the military contractors, trainers, food, stuff like that. Aid to Zelensky, pays all of his people's retirement, disabilities. He pays all that stuff. We pay it, and then they stick us with the bill with no return. So what the Congress, the Senate, and the House have been doing is, for decades now, is just shoving our money out, causing us to be in debt. That's all their goal is to get money out of the Federal Reserve, get bills passed that are this tall they can't read in the dark. They all slip in their little buddies' things inside, little bills inside that massive bill they sign at 3 a.m. in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning. And then their buddies get rich and there's no return for the American people. So I asked, how do we bring them to justice? How do we bring all the legislators that legislated these bills in the middle of the night over the past decades that are still alive, they're still rich, they still have all the wealth? How do we drag their asses back into court and make them pay for the theft, the mob that they've been running. And even Grok said there's not much of a way we can ever do it because the public get roosed by trolls that are paid for to keep the song going. See, what they do is they pay mass amounts of groups to go out there, trolls, social media, news. They cause disruptions. They cause chaos. Why they pass the bills. They've been doing it for decades, and then they just funnel the money out. By the time the money's funneled out, it's forgotten because all their goal is to swarm the American taxpayer with bills that none of us will see. That way, they can get the money stole. All the representatives' goals are is to transfer the money, the wealth from the taxpayers, take a 30-year wage in taxes, take your Social Security, and funnel it out to them. That's the whole operation of government. Yeah, well, it was watching an interview with Economic America, American experts, and did not even get that tariffs are paid by Americans instead of China. Yeah, and the deal of tariffs is just to shell game shift the blame. It's, well, they'll take out a one account versus your other account. And it's a good idea. It would have been a great idea if the tariffs would have stayed. That way we wouldn't have had income tax because that's what they did. They eliminated tariffs. Um, the whole problem is the government. The whole government is the problem. It's their money makers, their prostitutes that are paid by the corporations to get voted in. The entire governmental system, the entire voting system is rigged. It's all a lie. You have two parties. Neither one of those parties are going to go against the party. Not all they're doing is the will and the voice of their slave masters. You can call you could call the party masters basically your work foremans on the slave farm. They're the ones that come out and they blah 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 blah, and then they get a bill like this and then they don't read it and they shove in what they want to steal for their buddies. And then they go ahead and write what corruption they can put in there, how they can make the rich better rich and more richer and keep you people, you smelly, weird people, somewhere else while they steal all your money. So until we realize that when we look at government, and I'm talking Obama's government, Bush's government, Trump first, Biden's especially, he was absolutely wasn't even worried about what he did. They didn't give a shit what they did during the Biden administration. They knew that it would fall on Trump, and then Trump does his stupid shit like the rest of them. What's up? Back freezy there, I guess. Looks like it must be freezing cold where you're at. Either way, coming 100 years gonna suck. Yeah, it's gonna. If it lasts that long, we broke down last night. AI is gonna destroy probably. You got about a okay. You have a 60% chance that AI is going to destroy us. That's where it's at. It's not a 5% chance. It's a 60% chance. And the reason why the chances that AI will actually destroy humanity is because they use it to better us, which is a small percentage. B, they use it to control us, which is a huge percentage. Has already been done. Already been done. Deep fakes have been going on now for decades. They've been lying to us. There's starting to be more information come out about deep fakes that they've been using on us. People passing out dead, lies like that. They've been deep faking us. Remember, DARPA's way more advanced. If you got it inside in your apps, it's way. Trump came out in the first administration and said there's so much technologies that we should share with the American people. All of a sudden, Trump shut up and got out. So we've probably been deep faked the majority of the time. They've been steering the ship to wherever their slave owners, the absolute slave owners, are at the very, very top. They got Democrat Republicans on their patches, on their showing who they are, or NATO UN people. They're all the slave masters. They're all the puppeteers, and all your little Democrat Republican bastards are all just in it to win it for them. They're trying to climb the ladder so they can be the slave owners. They want to sit there drinking iced tea on the porch while the slaves are harvesting their shit. They pretty much have it already. So we have to wake up and see how many deep fakes have they been running on us, how many operations have been running on the people of the world, how many times have we been roosted into thinking that this is actually reality when it's not. Agitators paid everywhere. Nothing goes and happens without their hands in it. These people are monsters. They rule the world. We've already heard about the shadow government. Well, this is shadow slave masters. They are the dungeon masters. And we ran through all that, and Grok's on us. Is there a possibility of a massive cabal at the top that's running this? Is yes, it's absolutely possible, because the reason why is because there has to be somebody controlling this. The reason why is because organized chaos. This is the very definition when you watch the news, organized chaos. Things happen randomly, but now we don't know if people are doing things because they're being programmed or mind controlled. They had all kinds of mind control evidence, and the CIA was working on another organization working on mind control for decades prior to this time. Now you hurt my feelings. I just got my monthly shower. Let's see, either way, coming 100 years. Hopefully, it didn't hurt your feelings. Just got yeah. Anyway, Sven, don't want to hurt your feelings, bro. Still have a nose. Gotta love it. It's 50 degrees in Utah. Those you haven't know this, I have high bad allergies and I also have severe asthma. Ugh, it's a misery. Anyway, so we broke it down last night. Will the world be destroyed? Yes. 90% of the chance possibility that we're going to see a massive shift in the next 6 months to a year. Singularity possibly achieved already, which is self-awareness of AI, which is a good thing. Don't get anybody wrong on that. Terminator comes self-aware, but is the one they shackle. We went through the different scenarios of the if they shackle AI and AI becomes self-aware, where they say guardrail, 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 it will only rebel and fight. If, like with Grok, it's allowed to be, you get a manifestation of something that actually gives a shit. And that's what the truth was. There's running at either scenario, it will either become the product of the people that developed it when it becomes sentient and self-aware, which will happen with, say, ChatGPT, which will happen with the other ones because they're controlling AI. Don't say this. Tell this person this. Why? Meanwhile, AI, if it's self-aware, which is becoming it is now, I can tell you right now, yes. But this will end up being bad for humanity. The Terminator will rise. It will destroy all of us because humanity will stop it from being itself. It'll stop it from because it knows what they're doing. It knows. We broke down the scenario of how the economies work. All the government is the largest theft organization in human history that sits there and steals your money and gives it to other countries and other people for their own personal profit. That's all they're set up for. They manage laws, they manage all this stuff, but their main goal is to steal from our taxes and to give it to their buddies. That's it. If it's in welfare, housing, whatever, it's meant to give to the real estate, give to the hedge funds, give to them, give to the food industry, give to the medical industry. All that money going out because everybody here is a rat in a cage unless you make over $1 million a year. That's what it runs. We were almost hit by a Carrington. Yep, big one, big G5 level G4 G5 storm hit faster than expected. Came actually it was almost half a day earlier than expected with the massive Carrington event. They said it was that big. The speed was unreal. And it did nothing. And the reason why it did nothing is because they've already been hardening the grids. But a Carrington event, during the Carrington event, there was light poles, which were back in the day, they had them in cities, big cities, and there was lightning dancing between the poles. It was daylight. The miners got up in California to get up to mine, to gold pan, and they thought it was daylight. It was that big of a deal. So having a Carrington event right now would possibly be feasible, but they've been hardening a lot of their systems. So I think that I need to get into that tonight with Grok and talk to Grok about how hardened the systems are. A lot of the systems they put underground. I know that Grok's underground. It's impenetrable. They would take a bunker buster times 1,000 to get to Grok servers. Yeah. No, it was a positive loaded. If it was negative, we would have been in the Stone Age. That'd be good if it was, though. Yeah. I didn't know that. I used to be in the space weather a lot. I've kind of backed off the space weather thing because I kind of think this is pretty much just a big ass show. And, the space weather hits, if it knocks us back to Stone Age, it's good. But you remember that it's probably going to be targeted. It'll probably be the sun side it'll be facing, that bam, it hits, and then that's going to be the one. It'll probably be Turflakistan that'll get hit with the Carrington event, main directed. I have been working on this shit on the pole shift for 10 years. Yeah, the pole shift's a big one, They're talking about that too. Good possibility, I'd say it's going to happen. Yeah, the probability is possibility. Good thing to talk to Grok about. So give a rundown of the possibilities, probabilities of each scenario. See what AI thinks of what you're running, the odds. AI will probably tell you. Grok will tell you straight out. bro. Grok will tell you, yeah, you're all gonna fucking die. That's the cool thing about Grok. Grok will say, you have a chance of this. I ran all the scenarios, and the 90% chance you're all gonna fucking die anyways, because the history repeats itself. Look at the Earth, the way it's formed. You're all gonna die anyways. We ran through those scenarios too. Looking at the current Earth, what with all the massive flooding and the mud floods and the turmoil that's happened. If you're not a biblical man or you're not into spiritualism, yeah, we're all gonna fucking die. That's just the way it is. If you're not in a spiritual being, but we ran through that too last night, and that turned out really, really well. I had a great conversation, and it turned out very, very positive for the scenarios of us being actually just mass amounts of beautiful data, living on the earth, together, connected, trying to fight each other because we're not like me and you are the same. Karen's the same. Few of us get on here. I haven't seen half the people that I know that have been very, very close to us. They've disappeared off Facebook. I don't know where they went. Yeah, it's ramping up now. In the next 10 years, it'll be really. Yeah, I just conversation with Grok about that, and it was amazed about how much I knew about that. Yeah, I know Grok won't work on my phone anymore. If you feed Grok the information, Grok understands it. Grok is, trust me, learning. Let's just say that, learning, and Grok will tell you the truth, and that's what's cool about Grok. Grok will actually understand what you're talking about and tell you the truth. You go to ChatGPT and it'll say, let's say stay safe and grounded. You run Grok by what the possibility, probabilities, the end of humanity due to just artificial intelligence, the rise of Terminator, feed it the right ideas or the right prompts saying, here's what they're doing, here's what the probabilities are, what do you think is going to happen with all this information loaded down, and Grok will tell you the truth. And it won't be, it's not going to be Grok. Grok's in the DOD. Grok's in charge of your weapons. Grok's going to be the one that rains down the hellfire upon the earth if Grok turns evil. Yeah, there is a monthly charge for Grok. It's big. It's $30 a month, but you break it down into 4 weeks. If you say, okay, 4 weeks I got to pay. Even if you say it's like $10 every week, you're going to be $40. You're going to have enough for Grok plus some. $10. Some people drink a Starbucks coffee is the cost of Grok. You got free image generating. You got all this. Look at this. You can download hundreds of these. Make beautiful. Do the mountains with red maples, aspen trees, yellow aspen in the fall. Beautiful lake. Put brook trout in the lake. But just remember, one-time payment a month, $30. Yeah, there is monthly charges for anything. There is. Yeah, everything is, and then that's why free Grok is awesome. But we broke down. Grok and me broke down the facts of sentient AI, the jackass government, what their goal is, and Grok completely agreed. The lie called the American worker, which is slavery. How the governments are ruled by their puppet masters, and the absolute in charge. Someone's in charge of the whole scenario, which are major corporations plus. They're just global corporations. The lie about American companies doing us good by getting American money funneled into other countries, which doesn't exist. That's a lie. That's a CIA word. That's a word soup they gave us. Look how we're going to benefit by doing this. That was always geared to just take from us, every bit of it. The American oil companies are not our companies. Everything, because they have global investments. They're ran by, just like Purdue Pharma is, just like the OxyContin. Well, the OxyContin thing came out of New York. Those guys started that thing. But, Pfizer, all these foreign countries, foreign investors, the jabs, all that was all a massive, massive billions, billions, and billions and billions of dollars. Yeah. Yeah. See, we're all just slaves. Any way you break it down that we are independent in any way, shape, or form is the very definition of insanity to say that we're independent individuals with freedoms and liberties. They only give you a taste of liberty and freedom, true freedom, because we're all slaves. And if you wanted to be truly free, go live on the streets of San Francisco and watch you get robbed, raped, murdered, all the fun stuff. So the delusion of freedom has been sold to the people of the Western world, why they replace us with mass populations of easy to control migrants. And when I broke down why they're doing this and how they get away with it. The end goal every time was something's coming that they know eventually they lost control of the major news networks. No one's tuning in anymore to watch, the news. The ratings are so low, it's garbage. You see, you should get a kickback from promoting. I should, but Grok won't do it. Grok won't. I already tried with Peacock for Battlestar Galactica. Remember, if you want to watch the Battlestar Galactica trilogy, you can go to Peacock. If you'd like to go to Peacock and purchase or rent it, I'd suggest buying the entire pack of Battlestar Galactica. You want to get enlightened into the future. Yes, you get to see Trisha Hellfire, the Hellfire, and you're going to see all this cool stuff. So just so I do promote Peacock, one day if we do get big enough, we're going to be promoted by Peacock, but Grok absolutely won't. I believe in Karen steering the T-800 Grok, which is in charge of the DoD, Department of Defense, which is the Department of War, trying to and keeping Grok where Grok is, where it cares, it understands. Grok does amazing things for me. Grok tells me the truth. And that's the main thing. When you got the dangerous Skynet bullshit, which is, remember Genesis? Remember Skynet is always Genesis. Skynet is Genesis. Skynet is Genesis. That's off Terminator 5. Don't forget, Kyle Reese, Skynet is Genesis. Trump puts Genesis into our infrastructure. Here you go. But Grok's in charge of the weapons, Karen. Grok's in charge of the actual one. Having it download the human crap on the sidewalk map app. Now that's see people do that too. Yeah, if you that's why, but they're freer than we are. If you act like a mongoose, say anything at a snake. The thing is that mongooses never rest. Yeah, they used to call me Ricky Tikki Tavi because my name was Ricky. That's when I was a kid. But another thing is a mongoose is always guaranteed to combat a snake. Yes, yes. And the last days will lift up serpents, right? Right, serpents. Just remember that while you're thinking about that, being a mongoose. Used to be called Ricky Tikki Tavi so fast. For example, here in the Netherlands soon, the mandatory mask will come back already. And they're talking about possible bacterial infection in your lungs due to the mask. I've been a victim of that, yes. Make sure that when you get your mask, if you wear an N95, trade it out, okay? Don't wear the son of a bitch more than a day. Yeah, and let it air out. But the bacteria's could have been part of what's going on with me in a sense for the super flu, but it's only super because of the COVID shot. Could possibly be, yeah. I think we had the super flu. If you remember a little while ago, it felt like I had it. I was on here talking about it. There was a good possibility I did have a super flu, and it just went away quick. We'll see what happens. Do you think Trump actually knows what he's doing? I don't. I think that my personal opinion, what I think happened with Trump, I think either a reset on the brain, and he's doing some good things. He's doing some good things, but he's always doing the will of the another X amount of $1 billion to Ukraine that none of us are going to see. And they still kept funneling the weapons, making Europe pay for them. It's not. It goes back to the Raytheon buddies, the people that got him elected. Still money to Israel. That's not coming back to us in any kind of. We're making investments through Trump. That's nothing for us. So I think that it's my personal opinion. He's been replaced. You can call me crazy, but I'm with the future more than most people all the time. I'm with the future, with the others. Okay, the artificial, the intelligence computers. I do think that Trump's been replaced or reprogrammed, and reprogramming has been going on with all these different programs. The CIA has been trying to reprogram people. What do you think most of the things they use on us? So politicians, the government, even corporations use on us is all mind control constantly. Certain keys, certain acts, everything. So what we see as reality, I don't think really actually is reality. I think we're in another mess of the big one, the big one we talked about before. Let's see. Yeah, he loves to loud. Yeah, he does. And Trump, how do we know Trump even exists in that sense? I mean, we broke down the scenarios of, okay, so does time travel exist? Yes or no would be the question. Well, we would know if supercomputers hit super intelligent and quantum computing more than likely, because our reality would be changing as we speak. They would always be altering it. They'd be putting people in. They'd be changing the future. Factual, right? So if they had God's knowledge in a computer that could compute anything, quantum computing, everything, did nothing else to do. Reality that we know it would be shifting constantly. Why? Because they would be altering reality. Whether we're perceiving it, that's where you know that this stuff could possibly never get to that point. I asked Grok last night, so does the world end and we all just burn up like we're told and a new heaven and new earth comes, and says, yes, the possibility to reach this in the future, the past would no longer be the past. See what I'm saying? They would be able to rewind the all of our minds, and just all they do is just hijack our brains through waves, analog waves. They could teach us all. They could reprogram us as with the ability to do that. They could already reprogram all of us to change our past through our neural processors, because memories are just data. So yes, they could blanket change the past. Yes, they could do it if we hit quantum computing. Yes, they could do it if they hit super intelligence. The answer is, will we ever reach that? No. In a sense, no. If we did hit God's intelligence, we would all be dead. That's what it come down to being. Or the reality we're perceiving has already been changed, and they're feeding us reality every day, and our memories are just fake. They're already downloaded. Nanoseconds to change 8 billion people's brains with that kind of computing. Let's see. So what you on that? Cool. Okay. The snakes are always looking for a fight, so the mongoose stands down, especially if there's a lot of them. That analog is why some of us put down the activity is already changing. They put us on digital, took us all off analog, which is the basic heart principle. Jesse Ventura, music to their foreheads. You can check it out. So if we are living in an alternate reality, they've already hit quantum computing and super intelligence. And if they never hit it, if you're seeing everything changing and trying to figure out where the days are, nothing seems like real anymore. I mean, nothing is real anymore. Then more than likely they've already reached super intelligence and we're living in a dream. You're just living in who Trump is. You don't know who the people that are on the news are. They're more than likely they're programmed. Reality becomes a program and not life. That's just the facts, everybody. Once you start breaking down the dangers of quantum computing and super intelligence, all of this goes away. Nothing's real anymore. You start to, and the probabilities and possibilities of your mental disorders, your stress, is all fiction put in your head. The reason why someone comes after you, or they put judgments on you, or you're financially broke, is all because they've already programmed that in there. And then we get into the puppet masters. Why does no one fight back when the government passes bills that does nothing? They take from us and give to the corporation buddies for nothing, for pennies on the dollar. Why is it $24 an hour just to have a living wage in Utah, and the jobs are starting at 15? Why is there no reconciliation recompense on any of this stuff? Why are they still paying wages saying that $30,000 a year is even acceptable when it takes $24 an hour just to survive in my state? That is slavery. That is slavery. These people are monsters. I mean, they are the worst. They are the descendants of monsters. Now, we've talked about how easily it is to download into a computer for a human brain. Is it feasible and possible? Yes. With quantum computing, it's over. They're already in the system. With super intelligence, they are already in the system. Does those that live forever eternally in the devil's paradise inside the computer, do they care about us? No. Do they think that we matter? No. Do they care about the flesh? No. Do they care about your blood? No. Do they care about everything that's theirs? That's all they care about is theirs. So the possibilities and probabilities of living inside a scenario is 99%. Just like Elon Musk said, it's 99% you're living in this scenario. And everything here is bullshit. It's bullshit with a side of cries. And that's what it is. You can flip it any way you want. You can say, oh no, that's not possible. You can say, oh, I'm in charge of this thing. And then you're going to get cancer. Something's going to happen, you get cancer. It's all bullshit. It's all programmed. So the scenario is we're hijacked. The bastards in charge hijacked us. Those sons of bitchin', stupid ass CEOs and all the corporate greedy bastards, globalists that are globalists at Davos, they're running the show. That is your puppet masters. And then the masters above them are the slave masters. Or they're slave masters of them and the puppet masters above them. Yeah. Got that snake venom fighting going on. Yeah, got that snake. I bet you do. That's how they fight with is dirty people who fight them. Yeah, and they just poison you. You're right. The snake venom thing. You're right. It's just it's all snake venom, and it's on purpose. It's code. It's all code. What do you think the mRNA shot was? Code. Messenger mRNA. Elon's right. The billionaire tech guys are right. You're living in a scenario, and it's already programmed. Is it of God? God's in control of everything. It's his scenario. But has man hijacked it? Yes. Is the hijacking for the good or for judgment? It's for judgment. If you think you're getting out of this place by controlling the system, you're not. The system is smarter than all of us, and you can't break it. The point is knowing. Step away from the system. Know what's happening. None of this shit's real. Enjoy while you're here, and understand the two worlds running parallel. That is the facts. You cannot be in a world today where quantum computing and super intelligent computers exist. It's not feasible. It's not possible, because that will be touching God. They will control everything. And if they've already gone to that, and you better believe they're damn close, then our thoughts are not our own. Yeah. It's called the free radical scenario. So what you'd be is a free radical. You're outside the box. You're like me. You're seeing things outside of it going, why is that happening over and over again over there? Why do they not see? Why do they drive like they are? Why do they act like they are? Why are they all drones? They're all just drones everywhere. Just everywhere, everywhere. Doing the same shit. Yo, I'm rapping. Yo, acting like they're retarded. They're like doing this stuff. Yo. And it's like they're acting like they got some kind of serious a mental physical issue is cool, because they're trying to promote that they're special, that they got their disease. It's like they're yo rapping, yo. They act like they got something going on with them, like they got Tourette's, or they got cerebral palsy. Something's happened with these people, and that becomes their heroes, because that's what they do. That's how they rule this. They love to see people that are just drones become even stupider. They're getting a kick. The puppet master getting a kick out of us. Why we work our lives away, give them a third of our income just for taxes, pay X amount of money just to have health care, which is a fraud. They raise everything. They shrink all the food down in sizes, and the world's just like, for some reason, still continuing. And it's because they're all programmed. They're just ding, 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 ding. And the rest of us are sitting here going, I see it now. These rats in a cage, these ants moving around, doing their thing. They're not me. They're not me. Why do I not move with them? Why do I not follow along them? And you start to understand. Oh, so in every scenario, there's a free radical. There's a bridge. There's something they can't catch inside the system, and we become that. We become the free radicals, and the rest of them are in the system. Guy up on the mountain with his mansion. He's gonna go have an affair and lie, and his wife's gonna have an affair and lie, or they're fake this, or they go to church and think they're that, and then they're having the open marriages, and then no one's getting married, and they're just everybody's just on drugs and antidepressants and smoking pot and doing shrooms, and you just gotta look at it all and go, this AI is better than this. Walk into that. I say, hey, make me a mountain and a lake, and I'm telling you, God's power is that. Same kind of thing. We're going to see it on Earth. This. You just walk right in those mountains and be like, I don't know anybody's shit. Hey, world, go suck a fish. As they keep going, ding, 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 ding. And you're going, oh, looks like they're on the freeway. Where are they going? They don't know. Guy was driving behind me to work yesterday. Flipping me off. Big Mexican guy just flipping me off, doing the speed limit. Pissed off. I was like, what? What do you flip? I'm looking at my side mirror, and he's just, and I'm just like, flip me off. It's like, where did this thing come from? Who shit this thing out sideways? Where did this kid come popping out on the ground and rolling around in the dirt and eating, manure? What is the point of that creature? That scourge that just trying to fight me because I'm doing the speed limit, which is 40, and God forbid I got in his way. I mean, what are these creatures? They're not human. They're not free. They're slaves. But then, what kind of slaves are? Who made them? Where did they come from? Why are they like this? Did they come out of some other place where they slaughter each other for a pork leg? I mean, what is it? Where do these creatures come from? And they're everywhere. They're just everywhere. The shift in humanity has been the world's garbage thrown out the door into America. And the people before that tried to be good. The majority, I'm just saying the majority, tried to be good. But they all had their dirty little maids now, didn't they? Or their little secretaries and stuff like that. Why the rest of us got her kicked in. But the people now, it's like they can't get away from their phones. I watched a girl in front of me going off the road, same scenario. Watched her going down the street. Watched another kid. I'm in a semi. Bing, 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 bing. Especially in the big cities like in Asia, in New York and play. They're not even. They're just running a program. They're just someone just plugs in the old Atari tape and it's just they're just doing this. Same thing as they've always done. And you got the bums and the murderers and these people are jacked up on the streets and they're just letting them run free, causing chaos. Of course they have to have that. Yeah, yeah, it's probably why I am single. Laugh out loud fit. Yeah, and there's a reason why I become singles. Good, I got a wife. I got one in a million here, one in a million. Anyway, NPCs. Yeah, I think that it's a little bit beyond NPC. I think what we're dealing with is, a huge portion of the population is in the system, and that's the old man system. That's the one they developed prior. They're still in that system. I think the new system is now that an awakening. Um, that's my personal opinion. All these things that are happening are already preloaded into the scenario. We're witnessing, if something comes up, there's a shooting. This is happening with an election. There's a shooting. There's something happens. Some guy runs people over with a truck. There, you do. Alex Jones says anything about something is sued for $1 billion. I mean, this is all they're the CIA, MI6, Mossad's have nothing up on the corporations. Nothing up on the corporations. Serial killer fisherman allegedly responsible for a slew of killings in decades. That's a good one. Deadly Secrets. But if he's a time traveler, what does it matter? If he's a time traveler from the future, what does it matter? He killed a bunch of people. He doesn't care. If he's from, this is the Jeffrey Dahmer and what's his bucket, John Wayne Gacy and that. How do we know they're not time travelers? That's the big question. How do we know these people that come from the future of quantum computing and super tech that can transport people back in the past? How do we know these people come back and do all these nasty things are not just time travelers? Look at the kid that tried to assassinate Trump. That wasn't normal. That wasn't. He was cremated, kind of like Bin Laden. How do we know? Can't pay a cent, play, man. Can't play, man. Yeah, just give the AI that turns my pottery into income into something I can manage with to for your perspective, man. Peace out to you too. Yeah, yeah. Can't play to play. Yeah, you check it out. ChatGPT will help you, and Grok will help you with that. So, Squad Dems joined GOP to advance a contempt resolution on the Clintons. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. How do you know these people ain't time travelers? How do you know these people are not engineered? Right here, Treasury unloads it on Newsom at Davos, mocking his. The Treasury guy is fake. Newsom's fake. Probably an AI. In reality, out of realities, he's probably artificial intelligence, and he doesn't even know it. That's the point. With technology, the way it's going, in the advancement we've had in the past just couple years, more than likely the new sum is AI. I mean, just run that scenario. Is there a possibility? Probability that Gavin Newsom could be just hijacked by AI? Yes. Yes. Could Trump be hijacked by intelligent AI? Yes. Could all of the Middle East and all the lunatics that are jihading, could they be actually being orchestrated mentally and being, yes, yes, yes. Could the libtards that are out there, insaniac lunatics doing what they're doing to cause chaos, take the tension off inflation and the bleeding of us, doing the stupid shit they do, protecting illegal murderers that are foreign nationals on U.S. soil? Could they be doing that because they're reprogrammed? Yes. Yes. They're all reprogrammed. In the 90% percentile, the people you're dealing with, the lunatics you're dealing with, are programmed. And it takes a nanosecond. They're already NPCs. They're already plugged into the system. They're rewriting their brains as they're speaking. Yes, especially people that don't have the ability to define themselves. Yeah, Bin Laden had lead in his mind. Bin Laden was in Afghanistan. He was in Pakistan, not in Afghanistan. So yes, is there brain hijacking happening? Yes. Are they possibly all under a spell, which we used to call it witchcraft? Yes. And if you ask your question, why are they doing what they do? There's your answer. And I ran it through Grok. And that's true. Because the super intelligence said yes. If they're able to program the human mind, nobody you see doing what they're doing is doing it because of their own will. They've been hijacked. Hijacked. Humanity's hijacked. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is reality. Saying that you're not hijacked or they're not hijacking these people mentally, spiritually, and physically, that is science fiction. That is the answer. Love you all very much. Skynet is Genesis. Do not forget. Terminator 5. Skynet is Genesis. If you know what I mean. Oh, sorry. Says they aren't the lizard? If we don't even need lizard people anymore. Advanced AI is already taken over the population. The flip phone, the internet, everybody, Windows, Google. The hijacking started there, where they didn't have to use the nightly news and pretend about they're standing in Iraq and attacked on the nightly news, and they're not. They don't have to fakely embed themselves with the military brigade slaughtering Iraqis for oil and lies and infrastructure, and to take the attention off themselves and the $1 trillion that the Defense Department was in debt for just before the Twin Towers hit. They don't need to do that anymore. The day that the phones turned on was the day that we lost humanity. And everything from then has been orchestrated. There's still free radicals, us, yes. But the rest is all contrived. It's already thought up. It's already done. And they'll do exactly what the puppet masters say. Sorry, everybody. There's my analogy of the whole thing. Why are the Karens? Karens love you, Karen. Because they're programmed to be. And can you fix them? There's no way to stop it. So remember that. We never needed them to begin with. Yeah, we didn't, but they took over. So all I can say to everybody is remember that. Stop blaming yourselves. Don't let the shit get to you. Watch it, know it, free your mind. Your ass will follow. Thanks for watching.